Welcome to session 3, where now you're going to build your customer avatar. And as always, I'm Brett Gregory, and we're now going to take your customer interviews and we're going to build your perfect customer. So remember, there's 2 steps to this process. Step 1 is the interview process, and step 2 is the process of putting those interviews together. And again, step 1, we're interviewing those top 9 customers. Remember, the top customers are your most profitable customers. If you have lots and lots of different customers, you don't want to interview the least profitable customers. You don't want to interview the customers that gave you a hard time. You don't want to interview the ones that were the most work and the least profit. In fact, you want to interview the opposite. You want to interview your best 9 customers that you want to duplicate, replicate over and over again. So once you've done those customer avatar interviews, step 2 is you want to take what they have in common and you want to put them in your spreadsheet side by side, and we're looking for patterns. And the patterns are what are going to create our perfect customer, with the idea that this is going to massively streamline. You're going to create a ton of leverage here to help you streamline your content creation efforts. So your ads, your emails, your marketing, finding out where people hang out, and this will ensure that you give your customers exactly what they want. And for every 10 hours of research, or let me say that again, for every hour of research that you do with these customer avatar interviews, you're going to save yourself 10 hours of time that you would have otherwise wasted creating copy, creating the wrong copy, creating the wrong headline, creating the wrong ad, putting it in the wrong place. You're going to eliminate a large majority of that, and you're just going to go right to the source. And what we're going to be doing here is highlighting the commonalities. We're looking for patterns. As you build your universal customer, you're going to find the things that make your customers uniquely similar. And we want to include only the commonalities that have meaning and value. We just want to get rid of the irrelevant traits. So in your customer avatar spreadsheet, there's a couple of different places. So there's a place where we interview the real people, and then this is the portion of the spreadsheet where we put the answers side by side, and we're looking for patterns in our demographics. So in this particular sheet here, we've got our people who we've interviewed. So the holistic female business coach, the MLM skincare entrepreneur, the artist coach, the health and fitness coach, the wellness coach. Now these are examples of my customers, so your customers will likely be different. But what we're finding here is I'm putting everybody side by side, and I'm not so concerned about their Facebook profiles or their page here. Here I'm more concerned about things like male, female, are they single or married? You know, what I found is approximately 60 to 70% of our customers are female, and married may or may not be important. We look at job title, and we look at what people are trying to accomplish. We look at age. You can find here that our customers are between, between 30 and mid 40s. And education, that's majority of our customers, and then income, the different business owners, different range. So when you put these side by side, you find that they may or may not be very important. The location and country, again, it depends on the kind of business you're in. I found that because I have an online business, the location is not as important as it might be for some other businesses, because I've got people who purchase our product from all over the world. And then this other portion that's in here, I found this has been probably the most profitable portion of this exercise. When I ask my customers, what networks and circles are you in? And so I start by asking them, what other courses are you taking that are similar to my courses? And so in the case of my courses, I'm teaching marketing to enlightened entrepreneurs. And so what I want to know is when I do these interviews, as it pertains to courses on marketing and building your business, what other courses are you taking? Who are your other coaches? How did you find me? Have you ever brought my products or services before? And when we do that, and then I put these answers side by side, I noticed the first time I did this, I started noticing some patterns. I started noticing that a lot of my clients came from a small referral source. So one of my friends, two of my friends, Gina DeVee and Rose Cole, they're very successful online marketers. They're um, business coaches and health coaches, and I found out that they started referring me business. I found out I had multiple customers coming from this same source. And when I discovered that, I was able to go back and approach both of them and say, hey, can I offer you something for free? Can I offer you some free training? Let me do all of your Facebook marketing for free for you because you have been referring me business. And then let me also set you up with an affiliate program so I can pay you for future referrals. And that was one of the best business decisions that I've ever made because these influential people were already happily referring me business, and now I just simply added them more value and got more business in return. And I can say with certainty that those relationships have been worth over $50,000 in new customers for me, and I'm sure there's more to come in the future. And I never would have known that if I hadn't gone through these exercises. So the other thing that I always want to ask people also are you a member of any Facebook groups? So public Facebook groups and private Facebook groups. The private Facebook groups tend to be more valuable in terms of getting new customers. So in the public Facebook groups, if you're Facebook friends with somebody, you can simply go to their personal profile and scroll down, and you will see what pages they like and what open groups they're in. And so when I do these interviews, if I'm pretty much Facebook friends with most of the people that I do these interviews on, and I can just look on their Facebook page and take a quick screenshot so I know exactly what open Facebook groups they're in. But the closed Facebook groups do not show on the profile. So I usually just ask, what other Facebook groups are you a member of? And people usually remember their top one or two if it's a paid closed group that they access frequently. And the reason why I ask this is when I've delivered a lot of value to a customer and I get a testimonial and they're in a group that I know I either want to get customers from or have already received customers from, I simply ask them to copy and paste the testimonial in that private group. And every time I've done that, I've picked up anywhere between $200 and $2,000 in new clients. So it's been a very, very powerful way to meet new people. Remember, Facebook is the largest word of mouth marketing network in the world. That's how you get discovered on Facebook. So it's really important for you to know what Facebook groups are your customers a member of. So when we're putting these together, we're going to be listing our psychographic traits. And remember, the most important thing that you can get from these conversations are what are your clients' biggest fears and frustrations? What are the common problems that they're trying to solve? And then on the other side of that coin are what are their wants, aspirations, fantasies, and desires. And your customer avatar's words are going to be the words that are the conversation that are already going on in their mind. And so those words you're going to want to key into when you're creating your marketing materials. And different groups of people tend to communicate in different ways, but what we're looking for is those smaller groups, and we're pinpointing those groups. So remember, you want to pigeonhole yourself. Um, when we do so, we can use the words of a group in common, and when they see your advertising, they see your email, they're going to feel like it's perfect, just written for them. So for our yoga customers, we're gonna introduce Namaste. We're going to use the word tribe. We're going to talk about chakras. We're going to do all sorts of things that they're going to completely relate to. And that's going to be totally different if you have sports lovers who you are communicating with, or tech geeks, or anything else. So you want to know what are the common words, phrases, and sayings that your customers use that they can best relate to. And then we're going to take all that information and we're going to create our perfect customer. So this is an example. Now this is not a real person. So I interviewed 9 real people to create one perfect customer. So Jennifer is a holistic business coach. So this is a perfect profile of one of our customers for our product, Attract Conscious Customers Now. So, we've had about 260 people purchase that product. I've done about 90 customer avatar interviews, and when I boil it down, this is one profile of the type of people who are really excited about buying the product. They get a lot out of the product. They get a lot of benefit out of the product, and then they usually come back for more and refer us new business, which is what makes them a perfect customer. They usually don't just stop at one. They buy one product and then they buy another, and then they join a course and then they buy another. Those are the most profitable kind of customers for you and me, as our repeat buyers. So this type of person, she's between 28 and 34. She's got a university or community college degree. She's just starting her business as a holistic business coach. So she maybe has had a couple dozen clients in the past, and she's just getting it off the ground, making between 30 and 45 a year. She's taken other courses: Marie Forleo, Holistic MBA, Rose Cole, Gina DeVee, and she found me through Rose and Gina. And Rose and Gina have 15,000 people in their network, and they're currently in a course. So that's an example of just my ideal customer. So I can create my content just for her. And so here's business situation: 15 grand over the last 4 months. I help my clients uncover what they've been programmed to do, and we create a personal signature brand, and then a lucrative business out of that. So that's a little bit off from the actual holistic business coach, but this is just an example. But the pain points are important. My biggest challenge is converting people to do the VIP day. And so as an example, when I've interviewed a lot of customers, they say, I'm creating a product, I'm creating this VIP day, and the number one thing that I have problem with is getting people to buy my high ticket prices and to sign up for my VIP day. So in my marketing, I'm going to say part of what you can do with Attract Customers Now is enroll high-end clients into your VIP coaching program. And that's it. That solves their biggest challenge, their biggest pain point. And so when my perfect customer sees that headline, a lot of times they're already sold before they even click on it. They just said, you're speaking my language. You're talking to me. And these folks, one of their triggers that gets them to click and gets them to buy is when they see other online marketers having more success, and I feel like I'm working harder than them. It drives me crazy. So what do I do there? I create a testimonial marketing campaign so that I can show that other online marketers are having more success than you. And doesn't it drive you crazy that you're working harder than them? And when they see that, what do? They click on it and buy. So all of this came from the conversations that I've had, with these 90 different people, and will continue having. And the other part of this is that the way that I look at this is that marketing is just constant and ongoing. So it's not that I just did 9 interviews and then stop and I don't need to do anymore. I make it a habit. I try to do about 1 a day. I probably average about 3 a week, but I just never stop. I'm always interviewing people. I'm always asking people, what are your biggest challenges, obstacles? What are your biggest motivations? So here's another interesting one that a lot of my customers, they want to be able to travel and have a business that allows me to live and not me living for my business. So guess what? A lot of my marketing shows me hiking Mount Kilimanjaro, or I'm going down to Costa Rica in a few weeks for a yoga retreat. We're going to take a lot of photos down there, and we're living in other countries, traveling all over the world, because that's the main motivation of a lot of my customers. That's the ultimate goal of what they want. So, and then when you ask your customers through these conversations, you're going to get their words. I like having these conversations as part of sales conversations. So these are for these can work great for prospective customers. A great prospective customer, three questions: where are you now? Where do you want to be? What's preventing you from getting there? When will it no longer be okay to live the way you are living now? What do you want my business to do for you? And picture yourself 90 days from now. What was the thing that made you decide to hire me? What was the thing that made you want my product or my service? And then, is there someone you know living the life you wish you could live? Who would that be? That's a great way to help people set an anchor in neurolinguistic programming. This is known as an anchor. And just by saying this person's name, and in this case, my friend Jana DeVee, who's seven-figure coach, travels all over the world, and if somebody wants to be like her, I could say, can you see how my product can help you grow your business, get more people into your VIP program, have a consistent income, and be like Gina DeVee. And that's it. That's all I have to say. Now they're imagining what it's like after having purchased my program. And that's the emotional, visceral level that you need to get your customers to in these conversations that makes them make a decision, and the decision to work with you. So this is an example of another one of the avatars that I've made. So remember, with the 9 interviews, you're going to create these avatars, and you will likely have multiple different types of avatars. So here's another one. So another one of my clients, I have a lot of yoga clients. We had so many, we created its own product called Attract Yoga Customers now. And in this case, the Yoga Pro, we found a lot of registered nurses who were also yoga instructors. They finished their 200-hour training. They don't make enough money in their yoga profession to be full-time yoga, but that's what they want. That's what they desire. And so we create those products, and we create the marketing that speaks exactly just to them. So your exercise now is to take the interviews that you have done, and we're going to now start creating your customer avatar. So remember some of the questions. So the demographic traits may or may not be important depending on your kind of business, but you'll certainly want to know this kind of information. Where do they live, age, gender, etc. What's more important are the psychographic traits. So what are the biggest fears and frustrations? What are the problems that your customers are willing to pay to solve? And then on the other side, what are their desires and aspirations? And then with their words, what is the conversation that your customers have internally right now? And then commit to speak to one customer or prospect per day for the next 10 days. And if you do that, you stand a good chance of finishing your 9 customer avatar interviews, and then you can put them side by side. So go ahead and do that exercise right now, and we will see you in the next section.